So I just did a fun deal that I found at a pawn shop, and the story they gave me at the pawn shop was that some guy bid on a storage locker and got these 4 BREV 15-inch subwoofers, all brand new. One of them had a little damage on the corner, which is fine because when I looked them up, they had really great reviews. It's a brand called BREV, or a series called BREV, I'm not sure. BREV. And the parent company, or the total brand, is called Starke Sound, and I think they're out of California. And they're just imports from China, but they look really sharp, and they have the full dish glass fiber dust cap. And this pawn shop had them for $207 each, and it had 4 in stock. And so what I did was I found some, I took my own pictures, because a lot of people get picky online if you don't take an actual picture yourself of the item. But I also included screenshots of the review sites that had good reviews on them. And there was also a video that somebody had done. And of course, all that is probably paid advertisement. So, Chinese cost was probably like $100 each, maybe 150 shipped, or 150 landed. So anyways, the pawn shop gave me that story. I was like, whatever. There was 4 of them at $207. I came in and offered, will they take $600 for all 4? And they were like, yep. And so I had some Cash App stuff coming in, and I just hit the immediate thing instead of waiting over the weekend, and that way I was able to cover it. I ended up picking up a Kicker 1200 watt amp, which again I just took pictures of while I was in the pawn shop, and then posted that one. I think I have that one sold to a good buddy of mine, who I love to feed quesadillas to when he comes over. And the pawn shop threw in this rigid toolbox for free. One of the sides doesn't clamp, but again, this is good for the shop because I don't have any of that equipment right now. And so I was able to sell 3 of the subwoofers to guys doing a fancy pants home theater setup for somebody. And I was like, make sure you charge this, make sure you charge that, make sure you get plenty of money. And I think some of the SKU price tags were still on the subwoofers, but I didn't care because we got the cash. And so I sold 3 for $11.25. Again, normally a $2,100 value if you bought retail, but the subwoofer compares to something that would be from Velodyne or something like that, which would normally cost about $2,500 each. And again, Velodyne doesn't, or used to, they're into LiDAR now for cars. They don't do subwoofers anymore, but that used to be the epitome, because they did like marble tops, granite tops, and stuff like that, and it was all fancy pants. But it was all, if you open them up, they're all just bullshit garbage anyway. But these looked really, really nice, and I was able to do that. You can actually do the same thing too with house contracts, with a purchase contract, where you basically get the purchase contract for 30 or 60 days, whatever you negotiate for, and you get it at one price, which is usually a wholesale price, and then you just find a buyer. And so say you get the contract price at, like, say $300, and then advertise it for $5, and then let the buyer beat you up on price, and then you guys settle at, say, $425. And so then you made $125,000, and you didn't even have to take possession of the house. All you did was take the purchase contract. And so that's just basic reselling and hustling. It was great though. Doing this deal helped me make a better relationship with the pawn shop. I found another pawn shop here in Casa Grande that was not reasonable. He was selling Harbor Freight stuff, which I like the Hercules stuff. It's very affordable and it works great. And he was actually selling it for more than Harbor Freight was asking for. And I went in there and tried to negotiate, and he was like, no. And I was like, okay. So and whenever you go into a pawn shop like that, they are either used to really preying on people, taking advantage of them, or it's a money laundering scheme, especially if they give no shits when you come in as a buyer. Just try to avoid those places. Real businesses, real pawn shops will always be flexible on price. When I first got here, I think last week, I think it was on a Friday, I went in looking for a circular saw because I had to modify some MDF sheets that were left over from the guys that cut the wood for the bed to put the bed together. And I was turning them into tabletops for those wire racks that have the 4 posts, adjustable posts. And so I needed a jigsaw, and I usually like the Ryobis that I pick them up used for about $45. They sell new at Home Depot for about $100. Went into the pawn shop. He was asking $40, and I said, "Can you do a little better on the price?" And then all he did was turn the jigsaw around, and it was priced to move at half that, so it was $20. And I go, "Oh, this guy," because again, even at $20, I can resell it for $45 if I wanted. And so I go, "Oh, this guy knows what he's doing. He's really moving product. I like this." And so I said, "Well, let me look around and see what else you got." And they had a 12-inch compound miter saw, which is exactly what I was looking for. I wanted the DeWalt one or the rigid one, but they were usually anywhere from $400 to $900. This one was priced at $200. I offered him $100. He took it. Oh, it was great. So you never know what you're going to find. And so always check out the thrift stores. Always check out pawn shops. And then, like I said about the other pawn shop that I ran into, sometimes you find a place that is shitty, and sometimes you find places that are good. And also sometimes you find, because again, the pawn shop, like the common practice for a pawn shop is to find the item on eBay, the lowest price they possibly can. And usually it's used, and so they usually give about 40% of that. So if it goes for $100, they're like, "Okay, we'll give you 40 in store credit or 30 in cash." And depending on how, I don't want to make any judgments on sellers, but if the seller is motivated, they will usually take the $30 and leave. And so don't worry about the pawn shop, because a good pawn shop will, they just want to move equipment. They don't really care about the margins so much. They need the cash flow so that they can pay rent, because typically if you're in a retail setting like that, you're going to pay more in rent than just some guy out of his house. Yeah, score. And so let's see, I laid down 700, and then I picked up 1100, and I still have the toolbox. I still have the amp, which I got for 120. I think they gave me 10% off that as well. And then I got the amp sold for $250, and then I still have one of the subwoofers left, and I'm headed into Phoenix today to sell it for, I think, $375 is what the guy offered, and I said I'd give him the open box one. So sometimes an open box will have like a little scratch and dent, which is fine because it's still a really good high performance subwoofer. I'm going to park in the shade. I'm at the library. The library here is killer, and I'm going to do some reading for you guys. One of my favorite books is by Peter McWilliams, which when he was alive, or at least shortly after his death, he had all of his books for free on his website. But the family, his estate, decided that they kind of wanted some money, and so they killed all that, and then you can't even find it. You used to be able to find it in the Internet Archive. But it's Peter McWilliams, and my favorite book of his is called Ain't Nobody's Business If You Do. And it's about the absurdity of consensual crimes in a free society such as America. A consensual crime is anything that's illegal, but is a activity performed by consenting adults. So like prostitution, drugs, all the vices, things like that, homosexuality. What else? Gambling. And again, those things should not be illegal in a quote unquote free society, but we don't live in a free society. Again, there's certain subjects that I can't even mention here on YouTube. And then of course on TikTok, it's even more strict. So, but I just wanted to celebrate and tell you guys that I'm back, and I appreciate your support. And I'm working on getting the supplies back from Josh that he was holding for me, and getting to work and settling all my debts, and just getting back in the vibe with you guys to help you guys out, because while I was gone, things went to shit. Not that me staying out would have been that, but I have, every cloud has a silver lining, And again, I'm just trying to roll with the punches and do the best I can with what I got. And that's all I encourage you guys to do, because that's really all you can do. But I'm going to go get my book. I just thank you for your guys' support. And I appreciate everything that you guys have given me. And even the criticism, even the guys that hate me, I love to go to their channel, and they got 15 subscribers, and 3 of those are their mom. So, and I want to watch them and see if they do anything with that big mouth they got. So again, I think that's why you guys tune in here. And if you've noticed, I have downsized quite a bit on the channel and removed. I've tried to remove videos that are controversial. The channel is in. There are threats to the channel, and so they don't want me to talk about certain things, and so I won't talk about those things on this channel. Other channels, maybe we'll have to do some AI shit where it's all anonymous and all that stuff, but you don't know. But I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.